Okay, here's my promise to you. By the end of this episode, you'll be excited to set a goal because you're going to see how having the right goal makes your life easier. Having the right goal helps you make better decisions, prioritize better, so that you can live a happier and less stressed life where you're just being your best self. Today, I'm sharing why you need a goal and how goals help you. How goals help you to grow, to learn, to achieve incredible things, and most of all, enjoy your life in the long term and each and every single day. So listen up. If the last couple goals you set and maybe didn't achieve left you feeling disappointed or exhausted and made you swear off goals forever, this is for you. Or if you're the kind of woman who has never set goals or it's been, since high school cap class, that's all right. Listen up. I got you covered here too. Not only are you going to be pumped to set a goal, but you'll get the first step to take, even if you're burnt out or you have no idea where to start. So consider yourself warned, Golden Girl. By the end of this episode, you'll be a goal lover too. Well, hello, Golden Girl. Thank you so much for joining for this episode of the Golden Girls podcast, all about why you need a goal. I am going to go out on a limb here and say something that not everyone will agree with, but it's my truth, and it's the truth that I know you need to hear. Everybody needs a goal, always. So if you've set goals in the past and you didn't achieve them and you got frustrated and discouraged, and maybe you think that you're just not a goals person or there's something wrong with you, keep listening. I promise you, goals can still help you. And through this podcast, I'm going to help you set the right goals and help you actually achieve them. But it starts with you, and it starts with having a goal. If you're someone who hasn't set them in years or you've never set one, I've got you covered too. If you've started telling yourself, I'm not a goals person or goals don't work for me, I promise you, you can be a goals person too. Now, maybe you're that person who has too many goals and you're thinking, hey, Lisa, I already have a bunch of goals and they're not working for me. And maybe you're considering quitting or giving up right now. Keep listening, okay? Because today I'm sharing what you need to hear. Today, I'm sharing the top 5 reasons why everyone needs a goal. I'm sharing why even you need a goal, even if your life is pretty great right now, okay? Even if you've already achieved everything you wanted to in your life, this is still for you. And for those of you that have no idea where to start, trust me, I've got you covered. I'm going to be sharing the first step to creating a goal, especially if all you've ever done before is, quote, smart goals. Okay. So today we're talking about how goals impact everything in your life because, spoiler alert, it is not just about the achievement. It's not just about the goal you get at the end. It's about how goals impact and change who you are and in turn, change and impact everyone around you. You're going to see how having clear goals is going to help you every single day. It's going to help you prioritize. It's going to help you make great decisions and really live every day a little less stressed. And instead, you'll feel more purposeful, more fulfilled, and happier. Yeah. I know you want that too. Now, the full disclosure. If you have everything you want in your life, like there's not one thing that you would change or want more of or less of, then maybe this episode is not for you. If you're not interested in learning or growing or changing or seeing what's possible in your life or becoming the best version of you, this episode is definitely not for you. And in fact, if you don't want to learn or grow or develop yourself, well then this whole podcast probably just isn't for you. But if you are the person who enjoys learning, challenging yourself, growing, becoming a better version of you, you're in the right place. I believe in what I've seen in my experience coaching women and achieving my own goals. Goal setting is critical to your satisfaction in life on pretty much every measure, on health, on wealth, joy, love, fulfillment, all of the things and so much more. So let's talk. Here are the 5 reasons why everyone needs a goal. Now, let's start with the first one. Goals are just intention, and intention allows us to live without regrets. I know that for some of you listening, you might hate the word goal or you might be triggered by that, and there'll be an episode for you one day in the future, I promise. But for now, I want you to just shift your mindset from the word goal to intention. Without having intention, without coming to your day or to your week or to your month or to your life with intention, you live it on default, okay? You end up relying on old habits or old mindsets, old patterns, and you end up just getting more of what you already have. Look, like I said, if you're the kind of person who already has everything in your life, like there's nothing you want different at all, maybe this isn't for you. But if there's something that you would want more of, maybe more energy, maybe more laughter, maybe more time to spend with family or friends, then intention is just you saying, hey, that would be really great. I'm going to find a way to make that happen. And that's all that a goal is. Same thing with less. Maybe you want to have less judgment of other people and yourself. You feel like you judge others or you judge yourself too much and you just want a little less of that. Or you want to work less, or you want to feel less stressed, or you want to be, less tight in your hips like I feel right now in my life from sitting so much. Like all of these things are just intention, and those are just goals. Now, some of those are kind of light and some of those are a little heavier. And I want to go deep here for a minute because I think it's important that we don't just brush over this like goals are some Twinkie, easy peasy, lightweight thing that we can take or leave. Bronnie Ware was a palliative care nurse and wrote a book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And as you can probably guess from the title, what she did is she paid attention to the regrets she kept hearing over and over and over again from people on their deathbed. And what she kept hearing was 5 regrets. And I'm going to share them with you right now. She kept hearing people say, I wish I'd had the courage to live true to myself and not what others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd stayed in touch with friends. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. And I wish I'd let myself be happier. I don't know about you, but just listening to these and hearing these, it brings tears to my eyes. Because I believe that each and every one of those regrets are just people living without intention, people living without goals. I believe that if at some point in these people's lives, in your life and in my life, if we just take a moment and pause and look at our lives and say, what do I want more of? We probably would have been able to come up with exactly these things. We'd be able to right now, like we all have the chance right here, right now, today, to look at our lives and say, what do I want? And make a change to make it better tomorrow. The things that we identify today as what we want to change are the things that we will not regret on our deathbed. I'm going to say that again. The things we say today, the intentions we set today are the regrets that we won't have on our deathbed. So we are in control. In her book, she talks about how people wish they'd known that happiness was a choice. She said that so many people didn't realize, they never thought about it. They just kind of live life in their default and never realized that they were actually in control and that they could create change for themselves. So that to me just makes me see and makes me so passionate about goals, because part of goals absolutely is setting intention. And that's what goals just are, is just intention. So you can set an intention to live life true to you, or to have the courage to express your feelings, or hang out with friends more, or work less, or be happier. You can set those intentions. But the other cool thing is that about goals is we're always reflecting and checking in. And so if life isn't going exactly the way you want it to, if you think that there might be something in your heart that you know you would regret when you were on your deathbed, then you just set it as a goal and you set it as an intention today. The idea of laying on my deathbed with regrets honestly scares the crap out of me. And I hope that it scares the crap out of you too. You don't want to get to the final moments of your life and wish any of these things. You do not want to have these regrets. I gotta say this, I talk a lot about big goals and big dreams because that's what I have. But really, it's not about having big or small dreams or big or small goals. Like, it is about any size. It is just about being true to you. When you read Bronnie Ware's regrets, the ones that she hears people say, like, they're not, become a billionaire. They're not live on a yacht. They're not make 6 figures in passive income or have a fancy job title. They are things that each and every single day, each one of us could live. That means that each one of these regrets is in your hands and in your life and in your control today. Your goal can simply be to be present every single day. Your goal can be to get in touch with one friend a day. Your goal can be to express yourself every day, to be courageous, to dance or to laugh. Like, it doesn't have to be some big overwhelming thing. So you're going to hear me talk about big goals a lot in this podcast, and big goals just mean big, whatever that means to you. And I want you to know that big or small, your dreams matter, your goals matter. It's all about living with intention. When you live with intention today, you die without regrets. All right, I know that's heavy. I know that's deep stuff, but I told you here, I'm not here just for a highlight reel. I'm not here to have another fluffy conversation about goals. I'm here to talk about the real heart-to-heart stuff that matters in our lives, in my life and in your life. So if you're still here with me, let's go, because this is what I'm all about. This is what I love talking about and jamming on. So thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. Here's the second reason why I think everyone needs a goal. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter what path you take. Now, George Harrison sings about this. He says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And a classic Alice in Wonderland interaction is what comes to my mind too, is the Alice when she meets the Cheshire Cat and she says, which way should I go? And he says, well, where do you want to go? And she's like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And he says, well, then it doesn't matter what path you take. And that's really the truth. Goals allow us, they allow you and me to create a life that we design. They allow us to choose what we want in this life. Without direction, the path doesn't matter. Without goals, it is super easy to aimlessly drift through days and weeks, years, and even decades of your life. It's an unknown quote online, or sorry, I should say the author is unknown, the quote is known. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily acts of trivia. Isn't that the truth? Like, how many times have you looked back and realized, wow, what the heck was I doing on my phone for the last hour? Have you ever looked back and thought, oh my gosh, I just had this whole conversation with this person and I don't even remember the last thing they said? So often when we're not living with intention, when we're not showing up and we don't know where we're going or what we're trying to get out of an experience or being present to it, time just passes by. And those things happen in moments on our phone or sometimes in meetings when they just keep droning on and on and on. But that's so easy to have happen with the rest of your life. This is also a super important point that I want you to hear. When you don't have a goal, when you don't have an intention, it gets really easy and it actually probably even becomes a habit to just say yes to everyone else's agendas and everyone else's priorities. Then what ends up happening is you end up doing all these things for other people and you end up feeling unfulfilled and exhausted and unhappy and lost and then really confused and not really sure why you feel that way or how to fix it. I'm going to give you some examples here that I come across a lot in the work that I do with my clients and with my students. When you don't know where you're going and when you don't have intentions, this is when I see women, or men too, going to school and getting a degree that then doesn't excite them. Maybe this is you. Maybe you're staying in a job right now that you don't like, that sucks the life out of your soul every day because you don't know what you would enjoy more. Or worse, you don't even think it's possible for you to enjoy a job. Another big mistake that I see, if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're creating and you're not intentional about it, you don't have goals, you can have all the success in the world. Let me even say this, if you do have goals and they're not the right goals, you can have all of this success and all the titles and the money and all these things, even the family, whatever that is, but you won't feel fulfilled because chances are it wasn't the stuff that truly makes you feel alive and is meaningful. When you don't have goals that are meaningful to you, you tend to rely on the goals of everyone around you, which may or may not be aligned with what you really want. And I have a good friend, Allison, I'm going to share her story in an upcoming podcast here, but she shares her story of when she had a really great job and she had great money and she was still miserable because she just done these things that she thought were the right things to do, being a good girl, being a nice girl, doing the right thing, growing up, ticking boxes, just like I had, except she ended up really miserable. And the truth is that when you don't have goals, when you don't have clarity about where you're going, even if you do have success, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to feel, and maybe some of you do feel this way, you feel like you probably should be grateful for what you have, and maybe you probably even are, but something just doesn't feel right in your heart. You feel frustrated or restless, and you can't quite figure out what's going on. If this is you, it's because you don't have clarity. You don't have a direction. You don't have a goal or intention for your life that's meaningful enough to you. You don't have something that's pulling you along and giving you purpose and giving you energy and giving you that flow that you need and putting you in control of the purpose and direction you have for your life. When you have a goal, you get to choose. I truly believe that your life is meant to be amazing, but you have to choose that and you have to go for it. Goals are what allow you to live a life of design and a life of your design, not a life of default. All right, so let's talk about the number 3 reason why I think everyone needs a goal, It's because goals help you every single day. Okay, it's not just these big picture things. I know we're talking about life and deathbed and regrets and purpose, and these are really freaking important things to talk about. So I obviously didn't just skim over them. But let's talk about how goals help you every single day. Pretty much on a daily basis, I get messages from my clients, my students, from women around the world asking me, how do I focus? I have all these things I want to do and I don't know where to start. Or they're saying, I don't have enough time. How do I make time to exercise or to go see my friends or to start the side business that I want to do? How do I prioritize? My to-do list just keeps getting longer. If you can relate to any one of these things, know that you are not alone. If you do not have a clear goal, and I'm a big fan, by the way, of having one goal to focus on at a time, and I will talk about this probably every episode at least. One goal. Having a goal, though, helps you prioritize, okay? It helps you with exactly these challenges. As you're saying, I feel like I don't have enough time. I don't know how to prioritize. I can't make decisions, blah, blah, blah. Goals will help you. Because when you have one goal, you can look at what the things are that are going to help you meet that goal and pretty much say no to everything else. And it gives you, the excuse. Sometimes I think we feel like we need excuses in ourselves, but it helps you decide what's important. I believe, and it's right in the intro on this podcast for a reason, you can have everything. You can have it all. You cannot do everything. He'll say that twice for the people in the back. You can't do everything. You can have everything. You can't do everything. You can have it all. You can't do it all. So having goals helps you say no so you can stay focused on what's really important. Now, let's keep going here. Number 4, why you need a goal. Goals are how you become the best version of you. Goals are not actually about what you achieve. They're not about a certain milestone or a medal or a trophy or an award, although that stuff does feel great too. Goals are about who you become in the process. Goals fundamentally transform who you are. Goals become your habits. They become the way that you behave every day. And the right goal isn't just about an outcome or a marker of success. It truly fundamentally changes who you are. Now, I have to share some examples from my life. I remember a couple years ago graduating from university. That's a lie. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm like, that was more than a couple years ago, but without dating myself, we'll pretend it was just a few years ago. Coming out of university, man, I was so sick of reading all the textbooks. I should say not reading all the textbooks, but knowing I should. And it was a couple years into my career where I realized, I probably would love to start reading again, and I'm going to do it. So the first year I said I was going to read 5 books. That was my goal for the year, to read 5 books. And I crushed it. I read like 10 or 12. And the funny thing is that every year since then, I've never had to set that goal again. I just read. It's who I became. I became someone who looked at the bestseller lists. I became someone who talked to people about what they were reading and got ideas. I have a Goodreads account and keep that pretty up to date. So goals, that's an example. My goal of reading a couple books a year became just who I am. Like, it's no longer a goal. I say this, and I'm going to say this a couple times probably over the time of this podcast, but first it's a goal, then it becomes a habit, and then it's just you. The same thing happened with me becoming a runner. I was not a runner in elementary school. Any of my high school PE teachers will be probably floored to find out that I've run 7 half marathons and consider myself a runner. And in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. And when we'd travel, I would fall completely off the travel and running bandwagon. I would lose all of the momentum and strength that I'd gained. And then slowly, my goal to run half marathon started changing me and started changing my habits. I would come home from work, and instead of first thing I did sitting on the couch is I would get up and put my running shoes on and go for a run. In the mornings, I would go for a run. When I was on vacation, I would bring my runners and go run in a new city and find cool running trails. It literally became who I was. And then now it's just me. I look at runners and I get so excited for them, and I cheer runners on, and I wear running shoes, and I normally go for runs. Right now I'm healing from an injury, but it literally has transformed me because first it became a goal to run a half marathon, and then it became my habit to go for runs and research half marathons and be a part of running groups. And then now it's just me. Now that's just a part of who I am. I'm a runner, and I love the community, and I love what it does for me and my whole body and mind. This is the cool thing about goals, is that goals are how you become the best version of you. They fundamentally transform who you are, and that changes your whole mindset and your life. Henry David Thoreau has a quote, which I absolutely love, and he says, "What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals." And that is so true. It's not about the 7 half marathons that I've run and the race medals that I have or the personal best or any of that stuff. It's about me and how I had to fundamentally change. I had to become disciplined. I had to become dedicated. I had to get consistent. I had to become confident enough and brave enough. And I had to get up early sometimes and push myself to do things when I didn't really feel like it in service of a bigger vision for my life. And those are the things that, at the end of a race, the medal is there and that's done. But me becoming stronger, me becoming more consistent, me becoming braver, me becoming the kind of person who does hard things and can do hard things and can challenge herself, man, that is something that has changed me, and that shows up in every part of my life. I am a better mom because of that. I am a better entrepreneur because of that. I can coach people better from that place. I learn quicker. I am more dedicated. This is a big deal. In case you can't tell, by the way, from the passion in my voice, I'm like, my arms are flailing all over the place. Some of you guys might be watching this on video and get to see this. This is a big deal, and that's what we're here to do. It is a big work. Goals are not for the faint of heart. But once you get moving, you will be amazed at how fast you'll see progress and real change. Now, I kind of touched on this, but I want to go a little deeper. This is the 5th reason why I think goals are for everybody. It is because goals are about so much more than you. I know as a woman and as often as moms, if you're a mom too, we often put everyone else first. We make sure that our kids are fed, that they've got cuter clothes than us. We make sure our partners are taken care of, our team at work is taken care of, and our friends are happy, and our family, like everybody comes first. And here's the thing. Goals are about more than you. When you make time for your goals, and let me say this, you've got to make time for your goals. You got to make time, create time, not just find it. You'll never find it. But when you do that, you will, in the process, positively impact everyone else around you. When you become healthier, so do those around you. When you come to and make a healthier dinner for your family, they're all healthier too. When you make a healthier dinner option, when you go with the girls for a drink, you're probably encouraging them to be healthy too. When you start reading, you inspire others to do the same. Like all of these things, if you've ever heard that quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, you are bringing up the average of your friends group. You are bringing up the average of your family. And so that's a pretty big deal. It's pretty cool. I think that is such a good reminder to be conscious of who you're letting into your life. Make sure that you are wanting to be the average of the 5 people you're spending the most time with, that you've got good people in your life. But it's also a challenge for you and a question for you to want to be your best self. Because if you are some people's average, you being a better version of you, you having great goals, you creating an amazing life actually makes their lives better too. When you start thinking about saving money or you make a goal to create more income and generate wealth in your life, you're going to create change in your whole friends group. So I just want to bring this out there for you to hear me loud and clear that doing these amazing things in your life is not selfish. You having goals and doing things for you, by doing that, you're actually doing everyone around you a favor too. Now, to be clear, you are allowed to want and do things just for you too. But isn't it amazing? Isn't it great to know that when you inspire others and when you're going for your dreams, that it's going to help those around you too? I feel like it just really brings home, especially for the part of me that is a bit of a people pleaser and working on getting over that. Like it is just great to hear and know that me doing the things that are important to me are going to be better for everyone else around me too. All right, I want to share this last quote here for you guys because I think it just says it so well. It's a John F. Kennedy quote, and he says, "The rising tide lifts all the boats." When you pick a goal, when you work on a goal, every other part of your life improves. Every other part of other people's lives around you also improves. It's a rising tide, okay? You setting a goal and you becoming a better version of you living with intention, lifts all the boats both in your life and of the lives around you. When you are healthier, you start showing up differently in your parenting, in your team meetings, in your relationship, with your money, with your food, like everything impacts the other. And so your goals, one goal even, can be the rising tide that lifts all the boats in your life and improves so many different aspects. Okay, so maybe you still have a few thoughts there. Does everyone need a goal? Do I always need a goal? Here's what I'll say. Is there something you want more of in your life or less of? Do you want to have more work-life balance? Have more fun? Have more self-control or more energy? Or do you just want to, quote, have it all together, whatever the heck that means? Now, I talk about goals a lot at events and conferences and workshops, online and offline, and I get a lot of the same questions. So let me bring up two of the most common things I hear and help you out with them. One of the most common things I hear from women that are already successful and already high achievers is this. And I've even had paying clients in my goal setting program say this to me. Yeah, but Lisa, I already have a lot. Shouldn't I just be grateful with what I have? Do I really need a goal? I already have so much. Here's what I get to say to you, my friend. No matter how good your life already is, it is okay to want more or to want something different. This to me is a limiting belief here. And I'll talk about this more in a future episode. You're not the only one, by the way, if you're hearing me and thinking, yeah, but Lisa, come on. I've worked with a lot of women who feel like they should just be happy with what they have. Or they tell themselves I'm luckier than most people in the world, so I should just be happy with that and just be grateful and just put my head down and appreciate that. What I want to say to you is, as best as you can, to just let that belief go and say this. Let me say this. You can do both. You can absolutely be grateful. And you really should be. Why not? You can be happy with what you have. You can truly understand and appreciate that you are already luckier for what you have in the world and luckier than a lot of other people. I mean, even the fact if you're listening to this today, if you've got a phone, you are in the top most lucky people in the world if you've got clean air and clean water. Not everybody has that. So let's just take a moment and really appreciate that and live that and be grateful for that, whatever that level of happiness and success is for you. And we've got to say this, girl, you can still want more. You can still have goals. You can still have a goal and achieve something else. And it doesn't mean that you're ungrateful, or it doesn't mean that you're not worthy of it. It doesn't mean that you don't think that you're already lucky or appreciate what you have. It just means that there's more out there for you. And remember, you sacrificing on your dreams and you living a less than life isn't actually serving anybody. So play full out. If you want more, yes, be grateful for what you have. Yes, be appreciative and go for what you want. Okay, so the other question I get, and maybe you're here with me, I hope you're here with me at this point, and you're like, okay, Lisa, I hear you, I feel you, I'm convinced, I'm in. Where do I start? Well, here's where you start. This is your first step. I want you to start by writing out 100 dreams that you have for your life. 100 things that you would want to see or experience or feel. 100 things you want for your life. That's it. It's pretty simple, I know. But the truth is that most of us have never really given ourselves permission to dream, all the dreams. So this is where you start. Now, I've created an awesome guide for you and a play sheet that you can download for free at lisamichaud.com/100 dreams. If you go there, it will guide you through this exercise, okay? So if you want it, go to my website and grab that, or click on the show notes below and you'll have a link there. Now, if you're somewhere and you can't download it right now, that's okay. You can still get started today. Open up a note on your phone or on your computer, or open up an email or an old-fashioned notebook. Remember pen and paper like that? You can totally do that too. Start writing. Make a list of all of your dreams, all the things, big or small. Maybe you want to have a plant that you actually keep alive for several years. Maybe you dream of sleeping in. Maybe you want to watch a Sex and the City marathon or live in New York City. Maybe you want to go skydiving or take a cocktail making class or start a nonprofit or sing in a choir. No dream, nothing you've got, no experience that you want is too big or too small. as you go through this, first of all, it's actually pretty fun. A lot of my students and clients always come back to me and they're like, I'm having the best time doing this. So make it fun, make it yours, have a good time with this. What you may find, what some people do find, is that the first few are easy and then it gets harder. So I want you to keep going, okay? As you're doing this, notice any limiting beliefs that come up. Notice any time that you go to write something down and you almost don't because you're afraid you may not be able to do it, or what would people think, or that's too expensive, or any of those limiting beliefs. First of all, take note of what that limiting belief is, because no doubt that's showing up in other places of your life. I want you to take note of that. The second thing, let it go. Say thank you to that thought and release it and write down that dream. I don't care how crazy it is. I don't care if you're the only person that in your family to do it, or you're the only person in the world, like no one's ever done it before. It doesn't matter. Just write it down. Think about how you want to feel in your life. You want to feel strong? Do you want to feel excited? Do you want to feel inspiring? Do you want to feel proud? Like, what are the emotions? Then think about what dreams will make you feel that way. So that's where you start. That's what's next. Grab your 100 Dreams play sheet. Again, you'll find the link in the show notes, and go to lisamichaud.com/100 dreams to grab your free play sheet there. I want you to get started, my friend. Get dreaming. Then you literally just pick one dream and get going. Like, that's all. That's the simple version of how to set a goal and how to live with intention. I want to leave you with this. There's a quote that's been floating around the internet that's come across my heart a few times, so I want to share it with you. It goes like this. On your last day on earth, the woman you could have become will meet the woman you became. My friend, I want you to become the woman you're meant to be. Set the right goal for you so that when you meet the woman that you could have become, that she's the same woman you are. That she's you and you become exactly who you're meant to become. So what else? Like, what's next here? Well, stay tuned, Golden Girl. In the next episode, I'm talking about why SMART goals suck. Yes, I realize that it's probably the only way you've ever heard about setting goals. And it's probably also why you haven't achieved your goals, because it simply doesn't work. So I'm breaking that down for you. In the next episode, I'm also sharing what to do instead and why you can ignore everything you learned about SMART goals so that you can actually be successful in your life. If you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the Golden Girls podcast. In the next few episodes, I'm tackling some of your biggest goal questions, like how to achieve your goals, what it looks like, what kinds of goals you should have. This is exactly what this podcast is about. How do you get clarity? What are the nitty-gritties of goals, and how do you break it down? So stay tuned to keep learning. I gotta say, and I will say this every single time, thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. If you have a friend or a coworker, a team member, a business BFF, a partner, anyone that needs to hear this, please share it with them. Take a screenshot, share it on social, and tag me, because I would love to see it. Make sure that you subscribe, because that's how you're going to get the notifications for our bonus episodes. I want you to get the best strategies and the support on your golden goal-getting journey. Whew, try saying that 10 times. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.